Gigyu recollected the guidelines for dealing with gates. Firstly, not to panic upon encountering a gate and immediately call 112 or the association while staying in place. Second, never enter a gate of an unknown level, as it could result in severe penalties, including imprisonment or fines. Third, to ensure the presence of irrefutable evidence, especially if others appear before the association confirms the gate's location. The first person to discover the gate would have priority rights to attack and potentially resell it. These precautions were essential, and they emphasized that gates could not be taken lightly. The government official named Taishik, in charge of the gate control department, read a report about an F-rank gate, spilling his coffee when he noticed the name associated with the gate, Gigyu. The association was informed about the gate near Gigyu's residence. A few days later, Gigyu received a visit from an association representative who informed him that he had 5 days to enter the gate. If he didn't do so within this time frame, the priority right to attack the gate might go up for auction. The representative also reminded Gigyu about the precautions for dealing with gates and thanked him for his prompt report. Taishik then approached Gigyu at a cafe and inquired about his progress in the tower. Gigyu mentioned he had reached the 11th floor, and when asked about his level, he cryptically replied that he knew the answer himself. Taishik told Gigyu that he had 4 days to prepare, after which he should return to him. During the conversation, Taishik offered Gigyu a position in the association, but Gigyu politely declined, stating he wasn't ready to make such commitments. Taishik emphasized that the offer remained open if Gigyu ever changed his mind. Taishik also revealed that Tayo from the guide department had joined the caravan guild, and their friendship had evolved significantly. Gigyu asked Taishik about Tayo's departure and discovered that the caravan guild had a different influence on him, changing his demeanor. Taishik, feeling underestimated, challenged Gigyu to a sparring session to remind him of the gap between their skills. Gigyu accepted the challenge despite the vast difference in their abilities. During their spar, Taishik displayed his mastery and effortlessly launched powerful strikes. Gigyu managed to block one of the attacks, though he was blown away by the force. Taishik cautioned Gigyu about the importance of staying focused inside the gate, as a lack of preparation could be deadly. However, Gigyu acknowledged that Taishik was right, and he had become overconfident. He vowed to prepare better in the future. A few days earlier, at the Dongdaemun game auction market, Gigyu shopped for equipment. Lu expressed the owner's interest in the items, claiming they couldn't find anything better. Gigyu, pretending to talk on the phone, mentioned that his protective gear was inadequate, and that he might discover Ego, prompting Lu to inform the owner to notify them if Ego appeared. Gigyu browsed through different items, including metal armor, robes, and leather armor, but he found them either too cheap or too expensive. Disheartened by the lack of suitable gear, he sat on a bench with Lu and El, pondering his options. As Gigyu contemplated his next move, he noticed a young boy excitedly advertising his grandfather's shop. The boy claimed that his grandfather was a fantastic gear craftsman, which piqued Gigyu's interest. He approached the boy and requested to be taken to his grandfather's shop. The boy eagerly agreed, and Gigyu set off on a new adventure. Arriving at the boy's grandfather's shop, Gigyu found it filled with Ego, making it an extraordinary place. Lu, Ella, and Gigyu realized that this entire room was teeming with Ego, signifying the exceptional craftsmanship of the gear created here. In Gigyu's encounter with the old blacksmith, Jichul Huang, they initially discussed the concept of ego and how an ego without an ego was a rarity. Gigyu inquired if Jichul could use the items he crafted. Jichul appeared reluctant to sell them to someone who didn't appreciate their true value. However, Gigyu challenged Jichul by revealing the abilities of a sword he found, causing Jichul to be taken aback. Gigyu continued his attempts to forge a connection with ego. He picked up a sword, but despite giving it a name, Sharpness, there was no apparent connection. Frustrated, he attempted to connect with an armor piece, which he named Brunhart. This time, a connection was successfully established with Ego Brunhart. However, he soon realized that not all of its abilities could be used, and Brunhart lacked the ability to wield it fully. Their conversation shifts into the time of future when Taishik approached Gigyu for a spar. The two engaged in a fierce battle, with Taishik displaying incredible skill. Gigyu struggled to land a significant blow, and when he did, Taishik's strikes were devastating. Despite the odds stacked against him, Gigyu pressed on, eventually using the power of Ego Brunheart to reflect the accumulated damage from Taishik's attack. The force of the reflection sent Gigyu crashing into a wall, leaving him injured and shocked. Taishik acknowledged Gigyu's determination and revealed that he had passed the test. Gigyu was initially taken aback, but soon realized that his actions had been part of a well-thought-out plan, and Taishik had underestimated him. Taishik left him with a potion for internal injuries and informed Gigyu that he had 5 days to clear the gate. If Gigyu did not return within that time, Taishik would personally search for him. Days later, Gigyu stood near the gate he had found, mentally preparing himself for the challenge ahead. Taishik checked if Gigyu had taken the necessary supplies and cautioned him not to underestimate even an F-rank gate. Gigyu appreciated Taishik's concern, and as he entered the gate, he hoped it would be a continuous one, as such gates offered greater financial rewards. Lu and Ella questioned why Gigyu was so worried about this gate's level, as it didn't seem to be a deadly place. Gigyu explained that his concern for his well-being made him anxious. Once inside the gate, Gigyu encountered a group of wolves. He swiftly dispatched one of them and mentioned that continuous gates could help him level up quickly, emphasizing the importance of clearing them. As more wolves emerged from the cave, Gigyu readied himself to face this challenge. Gigyu swiftly eliminated the wolves within the gate. The system then informed him that Lu was absorbing the blue wolf blood and Ele was leveling up. During the battle, one of the wolves managed to bite Gigyu, but his ego, Brunheart, reflected the accumulated damage, protecting him from harm. Gigyu continued to destroy enemies in his path, utilizing the enhanced stats of his items. After a strenuous battle, Gigyu suggested taking a short rest. Lu and Ella raised concerns about human frailty, while Gigyu acknowledged that it had been about 5 hours since they began. He noted that despite the challenging circumstances, it wasn't much more difficult than facing orcs, and he might even find leveling up to be easier in this situation. He explained that he couldn't have reached this point alone, emphasizing the importance of leveling up for a player. Gigyu considered the limitations of level measurement without equipment, and his desire to achieve a higher level. Lu and Ella mentioned that if Gigyu developed his abilities further, they could communicate over long distances, which would be beneficial. Gigyu also pondered the concept of cannibalism as a skill, which intrigued him. With a short break behind them, Gigyu noticed his full backpack and contemplated purchasing one with space expansion magic. He then remembered that he had a boost potion in his inventory, which could provide extra space. Gigyu consumed the potion to boost his attributes before proceeding deeper into the gate. As they progressed, Gigyu felt a strong aura, signaling the possible presence of a boss. He informed Lu and Ella about it, and they prepared to face the formidable challenge. Gigyu noticed that the guardian of this gate was absorbing a significant portion of its power, distinguishing it from previous encounters. When they finally confronted the guardian, Gigyu observed a wolf with red eyes, displaying an intimidating presence. This boss-level wolf rushed at Gigyu, who was ready to face it. They engaged in a fierce battle, with Gigyu blocking and counterattacking alongside his egos, Lu and Ella. Gigyu realized the wolf was a formidable opponent with powerful attacks. However, Gigyu was determined to win the battle. The fight continued with Gigyu accumulating damage from the wolf's relentless strikes. Despite the challenge, he maintained his resolve. As the battle unfolded, Gigyu noticed that the wolf's attacks were stronger than expected. He decided to focus on accumulating damage to wear down the opponent. The combat intensified, with the wolf launching powerful attacks and Gigyu using his egos to defend and retaliate. After a grueling battle, the wolf's attacks had left the battlefield marred with crevices. Gigyu felt exhausted, and the effects of the enhancement potion were wearing off. He acknowledged that Talon would have been no match for this formidable boss. Ultimately, Gigyu triumphed over the boss, known as Changkyung, gaining experience points in the process. Lu, on the other hand, absorbed the blood of Chenkyung, resulting in enhanced agility and acquiring a new skill called Strong Will, which facilitated stamina regeneration when taking heavy damage. The cannibalism skill was also activated, perplexing Gigyu as numerous system notifications appeared before him. A colossal status board seemed to materialize behind Gigyu, and Lu appeared to be consuming the fallen Chenkyung. The system then announced that Lu had successfully absorbed Chenkyung and had transformed into an ego. A blue crystal materialized in Gigyu's hands, and he inquired about the process. Lu admitted that he didn't know how a monster could transform into an ego. Gigyu decided that they should investigate the matter further themselves, since neither Lu nor El had any information on it. As they discussed the unexpected transformation, Gigyu wondered if the new ego might be named Chenkyung. He contemplated trying to summon or activate it by uttering the name, but hesitated, fearing it might seem foolish. Gigyu trusted that the truth would reveal itself in due time. Meanwhile, he evaluated the usefulness of the cannibalism skill and obtained a valuable blue crystal, which he anticipated would fetch a significant sum. Their mission then led them to the reward room, where Gigyu realized he needed to touch the gatekeeper's body to access it. However, Lu had devoured the boss's body, creating a dilemma. Gigyu had no choice but to launch a search for a solution. On the second day of their search, Gigyu embarked on an intensified effort to find a resolution. Lu expressed concerns about wasting time looking for a body. Ella suggested they could exit the gate and seek help. However, Gigyu insisted that he couldn't abandon the mission, especially considering the potential dangers and consequences if the gate remained unresolved. While his ego's comments irritated him, Gigyu remained resolute in his commitment to resolve the situation, taking responsibility for the mess he believed he had caused. He aimed to find a solution before Taeshik's arrival in 4 days. The next day, Gigyu continued his search, meticulously exploring the gate's various corners. When he contemplated destroying the remaining monsters, El supported the idea while Lu called it too simplistic, but acknowledged its appeal. Gigyu pressed on, eliminating any remaining threats within the gate. After 5 days, he confronted and defeated the last wolf, signaling the end of his mission. El commended Gigyu for his accomplishment, and Lu agreed. Gigyu inquired about their next steps, considering Taeshik's impending arrival and the completion of their mission. Lu and El informed Gigyu that all the energy inside the gate was now converging in one place. They guided him toward the energy field, which was where the gatekeeper had been located. In the association building, a sound barrier generator surrounded the office. Taeshik questioned why Gigyu had taken so long to return. Gigyu explained that he had destroyed the gatekeeper on the same day he entered the gate, but had encountered a problem afterward. The boss's body had vanished, preventing him from accessing the reward room. In response, he had annihilated all the remaining monsters to resolve the issue. Taeshik asked about the crystals, which Gigyu had collected within his hood, and Gigyu explained that when the boss was defeated, all the energy inside the gate had started gathering in the boss room. Lu encouraged Gigyu to hurry, emphasizing the importance of reaching the reward room swiftly. When Gigyu described the peculiar sight he had witnessed, he found it challenging to articulate. It felt like the fragments of the world had converged into one place, and a ball of light had materialized in his hands. The system notified Gigyu that he had acquired ego fragments and asked if he wanted to access the reward room. Taeshik inquired about the situation, and Gigyu speculated that the gate itself might be an ego that blew his mind.